been less than kind, unimaginative and frustrating, said Hollywood's Bible, Variety magazine. So sickening, I almost brought up my breakfast, said the woke Bible, The Guardian. All the intimacy of Instagram, sneered the normally timid New York Times. A nauseating self-serving snooze fest, said another pundit. Well, that was me, actually.
Piers Morgan has just done something no one saw coming. Live images allegedly showing Meghan Markle at exclusive Soho House events from her pre-royal days. Surrounded. Here's the twist that changes everything. This isn't just Piers ranting like he does every week. This time, observers say he had receipts. Images that sources claim were meant to stay buried forever, scrubbed from the internet, hidden once Piers reportedly started mocking each photo with that signature smirk. What exactly was Meghan doing at those Soho House parties? And why has she worked so hard to make everyone forget they ever happened? Live on his show, sources claim he displayed photos, not just any photos, surrounded by wealthy men, positioned strategically in elite circles she claims she never pursues. Visual evidence that allegedly contradicts the entire fairy tale Meghan has been selling since she met Harry, hidden behind legal threats and PR control. And once people allegedly saw them flash across the screen, once the internet exploded with reactions within minutes of the segment airing, one question echoed louder than anything else. What exactly was Meghan doing at those Soho House parties? And why has she worked so hard to make everyone forget they ever happened? Live on his show, sources claim he displayed photos, not just any photos, surrounded by wealthy men, positioned strategically in elite circles she claims she never pursued.
It all started back in 2015 on that fateful weekend when Harry and Prince Charles went to the grand opening of Soho House.
I'm not sure exactly what the outcome will be, but definitely.
Let's go back so you understand everything much better. Remember when Piers Morgan met Meghan Markle in 2016? But buried inside what seemed like normal networking was one moment that quietly detonated everything. And then Meghan went to Soho House the very next night, had dinner with Prince Harry, and to most people, that sounds like someone found better opportunities. But to Piers Morgan personally, that ghosting wasn't just rude, it was personal betrayal that he's been obsessed with exposing ever since, finally armed with visual proof. Let's break it down simply. Piers loses his TV job at Good Morning Britain. Meghan herself files a complaint against him. His career at ITV ends because of her. That was Piers spent years waiting for this moment, gathering whatever photos he could find, building a case to destroy the woman who allegedly destroyed his career. It was supposed to be a friendly meeting, a casual drink between two media personalities. But they met at a pub in Kensington, talked for over an hour. Piers thought they were building genuine friendship, and then Piers never heard from her again. Never. Not one text, not one call. Complete radio silence. To anyone who understands social climbing, that sounds calculated. But this alleged photo incident becomes important because it's not random criticism, it's reportedly years of built-up anger because he said he didn't believe Meghan's Oprah interview. He storms off his own show on live television, generates 58,000 complaints. Meghan's sources are accurate about what allegedly happened on Piers Morgan Uncensored recently. His career at ITV ends because of her. That means Piers spent years waiting for this moment, gathering whatever photos he could find, building a case to destroy the woman who allegedly destroyed his career.
Harry, to put it politely, I think she is very manipulative. Meghan Markle is someone who's basically got rid of almost her entire family on her side, apart from her mother, her entire family on the father's side, including her father, which is incredibly sad. And now she's wrestled Harry away from his family.
Not possible that he'd let this go, not believable that he'd move on quietly, not realistic under any scenario where someone with his platform and his grudge suddenly has ammunition. This wasn't just a segment. This was allegedly revenge served cold with photographic evidence displayed for millions to see. Because the version of Meghan Markle that the public knows does not match the version sources claim appeared in those images. Cable show called Suits, living a relatively normal life, focused on humanitarian work and her blog, The Tig. But Meghan Markle was allegedly deeply embedded in Soho House culture for years, not as a casual visitor, but as someone whose sources claim treated these exclusive clubs like her personal headquarters. She had major celebrities couldn't get into. It's a members-only club, so exclusive that we try not to give membership to people who would fuel paparazzi or bring press. And the doubts grew even deeper when we examined what these photos allegedly showed. Before Harry, Meghan's story was clear and simple. She was a working actress on a cable show called The Truth you never see in her Netflix documentaries. She had access to properties in multiple cities, London, Toronto, New York. Allegedly that Kim Kardashian and Kobe Bryant were denied membership. The founder Nick Jones reportedly said, not as a casual visitor, but as someone whose sources claim treated these exclusive clubs like her personal headquarters. She had major celebrities couldn't get into. It's a members-only club, so exclusive that we try not to give membership to people who would fuel paparazzi.
If we just know her, again, like we're going to like her. Okay, show me the friends who know you, who have stuck by you. Who's still in your life? There's not even a family member. They're all gone. Everyone who knew you either fled from you or they were dumped by you because they weren't famous. They weren't Tyler Perry. They weren't Oprah, Gail, all these people who she didn't know at all who she had at her wedding. George Clooney, I'm sure they were really tight, right? Like the people who did know her jumped ship.
Now compare that with Meghan's access. Surrounded by wealthy men, positioned strategically at parties where billionaires and power brokers gather. And this absolutely isn't behavior that matches the humble humanitarian narrative she's built her entire brand around. Sources photos showing Meghan at exclusive gatherings. Photos allegedly exist, showing her at Soho House events regularly. This isn't how struggling actresses spend their time. This isn't how someone focused on acting career networks casually. Sources who claim they saw the segment Piers allegedly aired describe parties connected to Soho House events, luxury locations that don't scream working actress saving money, described photos showing Meghan at exclusive gatherings. Photos allegedly exist, showing her at Soho House events regularly.
Now, the source of this was apparently a man named Christopher Jones, very common name, unfortunately, who allegedly said that he worked the yacht circuit and he worked it with Nutmeg. That apparently their tenure there overlapped.
One observer noted, these aren't photos of someone who accidentally fell into royal life, exactly where wealthy, powerful men would notice her. If the photos Piers reportedly showed were taken at elite Soho House events years before Harry, if visual evidence contradicts everything she's said about her pre-royal life, then the question becomes simple. These allegedly look like images of someone who spent years positioning herself, so if they depict Meghan embedded in circles she claims she never pursued, who exactly was Meghan Markle before the fairy tale? And why has she worked so desperately to erase that version from public memory? If the visual evidence contradicts everything she said about her pre-royal life, then the question becomes simple. These allegedly look like images of someone who spent years positioning herself.
She's a trained actress. What she does is that she studies people. She's not a good actress, but she is a trained one, right? She's been doing it her entire life. And there is no doubt that she studied Princess Diana. She studied her mannerisms towards Harry when he was a boy and the way that she grabs her face. And this is the psychopathic elements of what she does, putting a pregnancy text next to Princess Diana's hair, saying that she put her hands on the grave to have a conversation with her, bursting into tears. And she has convinced, there's a thing called in psychology called the Freudian transfer. She has convinced Harry that she is Princess Diana.
If the alleged photos raised eyebrows, the Soho House connection sent them higher. Meghan's access to this world wasn't accidental. Not just Meghan's close friend, but the global membership director of Soho House. Because once you understand how that network operates, something becomes painfully clear. Let's start with Marcus Anderson, not the person who literally decides who gets into these exclusive clubs and who stays locked out forever. Not just Meghan's close friend, but the global membership director of Soho House. Because once you understand how that network operates,
4-year-old, when we play imaginary play, she gets all the jams out the cupboard and lays them all on the table, and I get the fake money and pretend to buy them. Meghan is doing imaginary play, but she's doing it with Marcus.
When Meghan needed access to elite circles, Marcus allegedly provided it. Los Angeles to New York, to Toronto, to London, to California. Observers claim Marcus followed every single move. For Marcus to have relocated multiple times to be near Meghan, sources suggest his role wasn't friendship. Then comes the yacht connection. Multiple sources online have claimed for years that photos exist of Meghan on luxury yachts with wealthy men. When she moved cities, Marcus reportedly relocated to stay near her. That almost never happens with regular friendships, especially when one person has a corporate executive position requiring them to stay in one location. His job was allegedly managing her access to the network that would eventually connect her to Prince Harry. Allegedly at events facilitated through Soho House connections or arranged by people in Marcus Anderson's network. Then comes the yacht connection. Multiple sources online have claimed for years that photos exist of Meghan on luxury yachts with wealthy men when she moved moved cities, Marcus reportedly relocated to stay near her.
Marcus Anderson is very unique in the Meghan Markle Disposable Friends series because Marcus is indispensable. Without Marcus Anderson, I hope to prove to you in this video that Meghan Markle wouldn't have the level of global fame that she enjoys now, or infamy, depends how you look at it.
Some say these are innocent vacation photos. A documentary called The Dark World of Celebrity Yachting referenced Meghan in the context of actresses billionaire Ron Burkle, who's been a Soho House board member since 2012, and other powerful men in that exclusive circle. Others claim they show Meghan in situations that contradict her carefully crafted image of actresses who allegedly accompany wealthy men on yachts for networking and financial opportunities. Author Kirby Summers wrote extensively about alleged connections between Meghan, billionaire Ron Burkle, who's been a Soho House board member since 2012, and other powerful men in that exclusive circle. Others claim they show Meghan in situations that contradict her carefully crafted image.
The Favor. For many years, this almost A-list actress, and that's Meghan Markle, precariously balanced herself between dating and yachting. She thought of it as dating upward, and there are perks such as lifestyle and glamour and gifts of dating upward rather than yachting in the traditional sense.
What is documented is that yacht photos have circulated online for years, with people claiming the woman in them is Meghan, completely different women, like model Alexandra Estes, mixed with whatever real photos actually exist. But here's why the rumors never die. Her close relationship with Marcus Anderson, who has ties to billionaire investors, her attendance at elite events. Also, there's definitely confusion, misidentification, and conspiracy theories. Meghan's documented connection to Soho House, her unexplained access to exclusive properties, her close create what observers call a pattern that makes people wonder what they're not being told. Though fact-checkers later proved some photos showed her close relationship with Marcus Anderson, who has ties to billionaire investors, her attendance at elite events. Also, there's definitely
So I was with one of her old friends last week, and she told me, allegedly, that Victoria Jackson hates her husband. And so that's to me that Meghan would find this mentor that doesn't respect her husband or normalizes disliking your husband says so much. Again, I'm on divorce watch. I'm so sorry.
And just as the Soho House contradictions begin to pile up, the silence brings its own set of cracks. Everything is managed. And when questions arise about her past, the strategy is simple and consistent. No one in media uses image control the way Meghan Markle does.
And when questions
everything
arise
is curated,
about her past,
deny,
strategy
threaten legal
is
action, claim privacy invasion, make the story disappear. That's not paranoia. That's pattern. Just as the Soho House contradictions begin to pile up, the silence brings its own set of
she
cracks.
was scared of coming back to this country, and quite rightly, because the people of this country don't like the fact that she's stolen our prince. And she's literally brainwashed him, blinkered him, and tied him down to his California mansion.
The same pattern followed when yacht rumors surfaced, when Soho House questions emerged. But according to sources tracking online reactions, something unusual allegedly happened after Meghan's team said nothing. No denial, no legal threat, no statement calling the images fake or misleading. Just complete silence. Years before she met Harry. And if those images contradict her public narrative, then lawyers would typically respond immediately. Emerged the fact when observers asked about her pre-Harry networking. After Piers reportedly showed those photos. If photos were shown that allegedly depicted Meghan at exclusive Soho House events, the fact that allegedly hasn't happened makes people wonder whether the photos are real and legally defensible, leaving Meghan with no good option except staying quiet and hoping the story fades. Meghan's team said nothing. No denial, no legal threat, no statement calling the images fake or misleading. Just complete silence. Years before she met Harry. And if those images contradict her public...
Went from the royal family to doing arts and crafts. That is a fall from grace. I've never seen someone fumble the bag harder than Meghan Markle, okay, which tells me she is her own worst enemy, she's her own saboteur, and we see it in the show. There is absolutely no star power.
And that silence becomes louder when you consider Meghan's history. She filed complaints about Piers Morgan's Oprah comments, so she's the silence now if what Piers allegedly showed was false. Is the silence because she can't dispute what was shown, or because fighting back would only make more people look at photos she desperately wants forgotten? When people asked about her Soho House connections, Meghan didn't give one clear answer. later. Instead, the story kept changing. But then Prince Harry's memoir Spare revealed she called it her headquarters, kept two very different descriptions. She sued newspapers over a letter to her father. She's known for aggressively controlling her narrative through legal channels. So when someone this litigious suddenly goes quiet, it forces one important question. Then while legal silence speaks volumes, Meghan's own past explanations began shifting too. First, she described Soho House as just a place she visited when in London. Nothing special, just a convenient spot. But kept the luggage there, suggested it for their first date because she was so familiar with the location. Then came questions about Marcus Anderson. But then Prince Harry's memoir Spare revealed she called it her headquarters, kept two very different descriptions. She sued newspapers over a letter to her father. She's known for aggressively controlling her narrative through legal channels. So when someone this litigious suddenly...
Next time that we really spot Marcus on the radar is he's sitting next to Meghan at the opening ceremony of the Invictus Games. And it's amazing when you look at that footage back because you realise just how far Prince Harry has dropped.
Early on, Meghan downplayed their friendship, described him as just someone she knew through work. But again, the explanation shifted from casual acquaintance to close confidant. But observers noted she had access to private jets, luxury vacations, exclusive clubs, designer clothes. When three answers that don't quite align. If Meghan's story had only been unusual, people might have shrugged it off. But because access to Soho House isn't something you casually get, how does an unknown cable actress get regular access to properties where even A-list celebrities are turned away? Why would the global membership director personally manage her access and relocate multiple times to stay near her? But later, photos emerged of them together constantly. He attended her wedding. Sources confirmed he introduced her to Harry. Again, there's the wealth question. Meghan presented herself as a working actress living modestly. But when asked how she afforded that lifestyle, explanations were vague. Three different framings for the same question. But once observers looked closely at the Soho House network itself, the entire narrative spun in a new direction. Because it requires connections, wealth, status, or someone powerful vouching for you.
Who paid for her
How does pay for her stays at locations that cost thousands per night? In other words, no casual friendship explains this level of access and attention. Why would the global membership director personally manage her access and relocate multiple times to stay near her? But later, photos emerged of them
let's go a little bit deeper into Marcus Anderson and Meghan Markle. They know each other from Soho House. So this little bit of information I found here tells us that Omid Scobie and Meghan Markle have known each other for a long time from yachting, and that Omid Scobie dated Marcus Anderson at the time that Marcus and Meghan were friends.
But sources claim what Piers allegedly suggested was much darker, where young, attractive women were positioned at exclusive events to network with what allegedly came with expectations that Meghan has never publicly acknowledged. Silo keeps quiet about arrangements that don't sound good when spoken out loud. Life is now wrapped in ambition, hard work, humanitarian focus, independent woman building a career through talent and determination. It sounded inspiring because once you pull it back, the glow fades, the questions appear, and a different truth begins to emerge. The impossible to explain Soho House access, the Marcus Anderson handler relationship, the lifestyle that didn't match her income, the legal threats against anyone asking questions, the shifting narratives about her past, that Meghan wasn't just a guest at Soho House, that she was allegedly part of a network with wealthy older men, that the yacht photos, the luxury vacations, the access to billionaire circles, high-level access doesn't come free. Someone pays, someone benefits, and now we reach the final part of this story. Every narrative Meghan has shared about her pre-royal life, a modern fairy tale, a perfect memory to protect, but fairy tales only work when no one looks behind the curtain. Because the alleged photos Piers reportedly showed, the yacht rumors that won't die, the billionaire connections never publicly explained, the scrubbed internet history, the silence now that photos have allegedly surfaced, the Marcus Anderson handler relationship, the lifestyle that didn't match her income, income, the legal threats
lifestyle
against
that
anyone
didn't match
asking
her
questions,
income,
the shifting
legal
narratives about her
threats against
past,
anyone
the that
asking
Meghan wasn't
questions,
just a guest at
the
Soho
shifting
House,
narratives
that she
about
was
her past,
allegedly part of a
to
network
silence
with wealthy
now that
older men,
photos have
that the
allegedly
yacht photos,
surfaced.
the luxury
her
vacation.
curated public image should be. Harry really apparently just wants time alone, doesn't want to be filmed, doesn't want to be put on social media, but has no choice. That very much bewildering picture of them both lamely holding hands looking out at the pumpkin farm really means nothing. It doesn't really go anywhere, does it? And so for Harry himself, he's now, in many people are suggesting,
All these pieces form a pattern too sharp to ignore. And as more details surface, one truth becomes impossible to avoid. Something not with the documented evidence, not with the photos that allegedly exist, not with the connections she's never explained, not with the narrative begins to tremble. Because the truth doesn't disappear. It waits. So as this story keeps unfolding, and as Piers Morgan continues allegedly armed with photos Meghan wanted buried forever, what if this part of Meghan's past isn't what she's claimed? What else was never meant to be discovered? The affair isn't about gossip. This isn't about opinions. This is about a story that was told one way and allegedly lived another. Something in Meghan's origin story does not line up, not with the lifestyle she somehow funded. And when the cracks in a fairy tale grow this wide, the press is forward. And sooner or later, it demands to be seen, no matter how carefully someone tries to hide it. So question now echoes louder than ever. The fairy tale is fading, and the truth is stepping into the light. And as Piers Morgan continues allegedly armed with photos Meghan wanted buried forever, what if this part of Meghan's past isn't what she's claimed?